The Las Vegas Raiders are getting some reinforcements this week in a critical matchup against the Houston Texans. Anthony Averett, the cornerback who was recently placed on IR due to a broken thumb, is now set to return, and this is great timing for the Raiders because this is the exact moment when rising star cornerback Nate Hobbs is going on IR. Very unfortunate to see that happen to Nate Hobbs, who had so much promise this year and was really completely going off. But fortunately for the Raiders, you get Anthony Averett back at the same time, and hopefully Nate Hobbs' injury is not too significant where he can come back later towards the end of the season, because when you go on IR, you only got to be on it for about 4 weeks. Anthony Averett's most famous for locking up Tyreek Hill in the 2021 season when he was with the Baltimore Ravens, but with the Raiders, only really played week 1 for 34 snaps against the LA Chargers, had a 63.9 PFF grade in that matchup, so we really haven't seen 2022 Anthony Averett. And at the same time, the Raiders will be getting DJ Turner back at wide receiver, who also went on IR earlier in the season. The Raiders have Albert Wilson, Keelan Cole, Mac Hollins, Hunter Renfrow, and Devontae Adams, all 5 on the active roster right now. Question is, do they bump DJ Turner up to the active roster? We know he's practicing, but what else does this mean? Is someone going to go down as well? A lot of things to weigh and consider when you're promoting certain receivers to the active roster. Keep in mind, Tyron Johnson passed through waivers, and he's currently on the Raiders practice squad as well, so he could also be moved up. And in addition to these players coming back from IR, you also have Darren Waller and Foster Moreau, who are possibly going to be in the mix this week. Josh McDaniels was asked about their status, said he's confident they could play this week, but also said that's not a prediction. You have Deshaun Reed from The Athletic saying right now he sees Moreau on the field but does not see Darren Waller, and a lot of people have been kind of disappointed with Darren Waller's performance so far this season, coupled with the fact that he missed a ton of practice in August because he was holding out, quite frankly, for a new contract. They claim it was a injury, but we all know, hey, the status of you coming back to the practice field right after you get a new contract, it's probably, not a real injury, probably a contract problem. And then since he's been back, we've seen a lot of miscommunication with Derek Carr on the field. We haven't seen the same Darren Waller, and you really needed as many practice reps as you can possibly get when you're learning a new offense, and Darren Waller did not get those reps. So kind of unfortunate to see him dealing with this hamstring injury right now. And when you look at what Darren Waller's done so far this year, he's been in every single game. Just the Kansas City game did not have one target due to the hamstring injury, and he's also only had 2 drops on the season, one in the Tennessee game and one in the Broncos game. But we've seen other plays, man, where it just does not seem like he's on the same page with Derek Carr, and the season high for him has been 79 yards. Hopefully he can get back on track for this season. We also need to hope that Hunter Renfrow gets back on track as well. His season high so far has been 59 yards, only appearing in 3 games due to the concussion that happened in that Arizona Cardinals game. He missed 2 games, but Hunter Renfrow should be healthy, had some time to rest so far, and really had a good game last week against Kansas City. Even though we did not pick up the victory, still had 4 targets for 4 receptions. And there's this growing problem looming in the background. We reported about Jeremy Fowler saying the Raiders are taking calls from division rivals, by the way, for Jonathan Abram, for Clelin Ferrell. Abram receiving the majority of the interest here. I just think this puts a sour taste in the locker room. I don't see the point in doing this. I don't think you're going to get much value for these guys anyway, so I don't think it's worth it to cause this drama and really lessen your chances of making the wild card this year, which the Raiders still can do if they beat the Texans, beat the Saints, start stacking some wins here in the easier part of the schedule. So it's going to be interesting to see how much does Abram play, how much does Clelin Ferrell play in this upcoming game. Are the Raiders going to showcase them more to draw more trade interest, or are the Raiders going to let them sit back and kind of be some depth pieces because you don't want to get them injured if you're planning on trading them anyways, or maybe you don't give them reps even if you don't trade them because you don't have plans for them in the future. So who knows what's going to happen, but clearly these 2 guys know the clock is ticking on their career with the Las Vegas Raiders. All in all, still great news that Anthony Averett is going to be coming back. We didn't know for sure if he was, and with the Nate Hobbs injury, we definitely need this guy. So you're going to have Rocky Sin, who's been doing very well, Amik Robertson, who's done better than advertised, quite frankly, for being a 5th round pick in 2020. These 2 guys have played nicely. Then you got Anthony Averett. I am not too worried about the cornerback room for this upcoming game and for the game against the Saints and then the Colts. Once you start playing some more difficult teams with better wide receivers, then I think you need to start worrying then. However, I'm confident in these 3 guys to be the starting quarterbacks for the Raiders against the Houston Texans. And hopefully Darren Waller could be coming back because we need this guy. Devontae, Darren Waller, it could be unstoppable. They just need more time together. Raiders fans, I know we're not that confident right now. I know it's been a tough year, but I do believe the Raiders will beat the Houston Texans. I am predicting 28-17, 11-point victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. Give me your score predictions in the comments. And if the Raiders do not beat the Texans, if the offense struggles, if the offense looks like an average offense despite being paid tons and tons and tons of money, then I think the Raiders can kiss the playoffs goodbye. So hopefully they get this victory. Over 63% of my viewers are not subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Raiders content. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.